All right, I collected everything I need over here to get this done. So the way that I like to fill brand new green stalks, yesterday I put my paver in place. That's a 16-inch square one. You know, I also use 24-inch round ones. I put my ultimate spinner base there. I put the first layer on. And this gives me an opportunity to finally use my cute little carrot caps. Where did one of them go? There should be 4. Oh, I see it. If you haven't seen these yet, GreenStalk came out with these a while ago so that you have a way to keep soil from going in that hole. In the past, I have put my finger in there. I have found a big stick to put in there. I've put a rock in there. I've used the little communion cups that I keep in the house. But now I have a cute dedicated thing to go in there that won't break, won't get lost because they're nice and bright. So I do that first. And got the soil here. Now this is a mix of what I already mentioned. I made this batch a few days ago when I was topping off another green stalk. So in here we have peat moss, garden soil, a little compost, some perlite in there. Okay, it looks really good, nice and fluffy. So I'm going to fill that up, and then I'm going to put a scoop about in a green stalk tier of this size. I only put a couple of handfuls of my amendments. It does not take a lot to get that going. When I run out of the soil in here, I will mix another batch until I get this done. I'm mixing it up with my hands because some of the cocoa coir was settled at the bottom. I'm sorry, some of the peat moss, not cocoa. I use cocoa in the house. I saw a video the other day of someone filling her green stalk. I won't say the name. Some of you probably saw the video, so you'll know who I'm talking about. With all cocoa coir, no amendments whatsoever. Please don't do that. Cocoa coir has no nutrients in it at all, nothing. And some brands of cocoa coir can be salty, so they will actually rip nutrients from the plants. Cocoa coir is made to be like an amendment or a mix. It's fine for seed starting because those seeds are not going to be in there very long. And you can use it to make potting mix. You can use it to loosen up other soil like what I'm doing here. So the proper way to use that is you mix about a third cocoa coir with a third of compost and then a third of perlite. And then you can put your amendments in there. As mentioned, in my case, I like worm castings, bone meal, blood meal, and organic fertilizer. And then you get a nice fluffy mix that actually has some nutrients in it to carry your plants through the first few weeks. Now, this is a container. And just like other containers, green stalks are going to lose nutrients faster. Every time it rains, every time you water, more nutrients run out of the soil. So you want to feed with a nice water-soluble fertilizer every 2 to 3 weeks. I try to do every 2 weeks. Okay. Also, when you're filling up your green stalk, put the soil as far to the top as you can. I like to kind of scoop the middle out right here where I'm going to put the gray disc out to the sides. And then I make sure that it's as far as possible up the pockets because it's going to settle a little bit when you water it. And you want your roots to have lots of space. This is a green stalk leaf. So the pockets are 7 inches. Okay. The original has 10-inch pockets. You can grow a lot in a leaf. You can. I have grown micro dwarf tomatoes, plenty of greens, herbs, radishes, and much more. I will have to look at the list. I'm growing a lot of stuff this year, obviously. I have a lot of green stalks. I still don't know exactly how many of them are going to end up being set up. Depends on space. But I have a lot. I got some pretty colors. other than just this one. So we'll see what happens. All right. So the next step, remove your carrot tops, put that to the side, get one of your gray watering discs. If you look at one of these things, there are several holes in here. It's a good idea to just try to align those holes with the pocket. So when you water, water is going to drip out that hole and it's going to go right to the root of your plants. Okay. And then I like to put on the next one and just keep it going until I'm done. So these are adorable colors that match some of the green stalks, but not all. So this one matches the blackberry. This matches lemon. This matches raspberry. And then we have an orange one for a traditional carrot look. They are so cute. I am going to grab some more soil. This is starting to get low. And I see there's a lot of peat in the bottom there. So let me mix up some more. So this is half a bag of compost that I had left. Looks bad because it's been sitting there getting rained on, but it'll be fine. There's mushrooms growing in there too. I'll go ahead and dump the soil out of these pots that I'm no longer using because it's perfectly good soil. Just got some roots in there we'll have to break up. Look at that, good potting mix, nice and dark. Now I just need to mix it. And what I just remembered is my sub pod aerator does an excellent job of mixing these big tubs of soil. Stick that in the bottom, pull it up. Do that a few times. I just remembered I didn't put my amendments in that bottom tier. I'll do that before we go any higher. You can also just mix the amendments right into your soil as you're mixing it. Do this just a couple more times. And I'm gonna get some perlite. Let me go get a couple scoops of perlite. And do this very carefully because that perlite is very light. It will fly away. It's not windy today though, so we should be good. You can see the more I mix, the more uniform it becomes, and we are good to go. All right, let me go back and put my amendments in that first tier that I forgot about. I have a little old kitchen scoop. This is a cup, and I think a cup is about right for this. Just sprinkle, 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 and then mix it in a little bit with your fingertips. That's going to slowly break down and feed the roots of your plants from the start. I'm going to put together a list, a video of everything I bought to make soil, or the soil that I bought, to work with this year. And I'm curious how that is comparing to if I was to buy one of those expensive soils. I know I'm coming out better, but I just want to do that to help people, so that you do not have to spend a bunch of money on expensive soil if you don't have it in your budget. If you do, that's great. Some people have their favorite types and they stick with that no matter what, unless they can't get it. But in some areas, it's hard to get those things. They're extremely expensive and not in budget, or you just might want to be budget conscious. Like, I could have bought it if I wanted to, I could afford it, but I don't want to. There are better things to spend money on than dirt, aka soil. And when I'm saying that, I'm being serious, because I bought the Stay Green soil when it was $2.33 a bag, I think. And then the Miracle Grow soil was $2 a bag, and I got a lot of them. I did several store pickups to handle topping off beds, filling new beds, and topping off my GreenStalks, other containers, and my new GreenStalks. So I bought a lot of soil, and I purchased only 2 big bags of the peat moss. I accidentally bought 2 huge orders of perlite when I was only trying to buy 1 of perlite and 1 of vermiculite, but I'm making it work. Don't have to have the vermiculite. The perlite is what you want for loosening up, so that's fine. And I bought only maybe like 8 bags of compost, and my amendments, the worm castings, bone meal, blood meal. I had a bunch of fertilizer already that I got on clearance. That's another tip. Make sure that in the fall, you make the rounds to Walmart, Home Depot, Lowe's, or whatever other stores you have near you, Menards, that sell garden stuff. In about probably September, sometimes really late August into September through October and beyond, they put all the gardening stuff on clearance, including soil. I've gotten bags of soil for $1 before. And one of my favorites that I like to use in my GreenStalks, Pro Mix, I was able to get for $3 for a 2 cubic foot bag before. I didn't make those rounds this last fall though. And that's another thing. Pro Mix used to be $8.99 per bag. $8.99. Now, I believe it is $21 or something ridiculous like that. So I stopped buying it because I'm not paying that. And as you can see, looking at my soil here, it looks pretty dang good, if I say so myself. So I'm going to finish doing this, then I'll probably just speed this part along when this is all built. When you put your GreenStalk together, I've mentioned this before, make sure that all of these feet are locked in and pushed down in every tier. When you first put it on empty, it's going to feel a little bit loose. But as you put your soil in there, it's going to make it heavier and it's going to weigh down. And you just want to make sure all those feet are actually in place where they belong. Listen, mixing your own soil is hard work. but in my opinion, it's worth it. But of course, if you have mobility issues or you're just trying to get started fast and easy, by all means, buy a good bag of potting mix and just use that. I need to get a new wheelbarrow or garden cart before next year. We have a three-wheel wheelbarrow, and it is so hard to move around and not really practical. I want one of the ones with four wheels so I can easily pull it and also use it for mixing soil if it's big enough, because this thing has no wheels. What I've done in the past is sit it in my wagon so I can drag it around with the soil in it, but right now it's full of plants that I need to get planted. That's my gorilla wagon, which we actually just replaced the wheels on because they were worn out after a few years of use. Did I put my amendments in that last tier? I don't think I did. So here's what we do in that case. And this is what I do sometimes when I amend my GreenStalks. Just put a little scoop in each pocket, and I'll mix that in with my fingers before I put the plants in. As you can see, there is no exact science to this. As long as you are mostly doing things right, your plants are going to be just fine. Things you don't want to do in your GreenStalk, as already mentioned, don't fill it with all cocoa coir. Don't fill it with all peat moss. Don't fill it with all garden soil because that's too dense. Don't fill it with all compost because that's too dense. You want a nice fluffy mix like this. You want to make sure your plants are being fed. So that starts from the start. No matter what soil I'm using, as mentioned, I always amend it and feed every couple weeks with a nice water soluble fertilizer. You can feed that through the top and each pocket to make sure your plants really grow. A lot of times in groups, I'll see somebody post that their plants are not growing or ask why they're yellowing. And then I say, have you fed them? And the answer is no. You got to feed the plants. You have to. All right, I'm going to finish this up. All right, all 7 tiers are done, filled with soil and amendments. Now I just need to put my water reservoir on. This is dirty from sitting around waiting. Let me rinse it out a bit. Remove my carrot cap. Save that and put this on. Now, if you find that it won't press down all the way, put my gloves back on. Just got to kind of move the soil around. All right, there we go. And again, these little feet up here, make sure they snap in all the way around so you don't lose your water reservoir. And I'm going to find a top to put on here. I don't have a rusted red top, but I do have a black one. All right, this was pretty dirty too from being under my potting bench. But there we go. Now with the garden lid, if you haven't seen these, has this cute leaf flip top. So you just hold your holes in there when it's open and close it back up. Keeps debris and other things from getting in there. So there we have it. I'm happy that I got this done. And actually, you know what? My husband's out of town. He's going to be surprised when he comes back and sees this here and might have a little bit of a complaint, or he might not notice at all. We'll see. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe to see what I plant in this GreenStalk.